Hello, thank you all for joining us today. We are happy to have you here to visit a pig farm with us in Kansas. My name is Kim and I work for the Kansas Pork Association, and we're an organization made up of Kansas pig farmers. So before we go back to the farm, let me introduce the schools and also Dan Toland. As many teachers probably recognize, he helps us with all of our technology and making sure everybody's connected and gets into where they need to be. So as I read the classrooms, if you could all wave for me. It looks like we have, if we get that one last class connected, we'll have about 250 students on the line today. So let me start with Miss Morgan's first grade class from Council Grove Elementary in Council Grove, Kansas. There you are. Okay, Miss Reeves' second grade class from McLean Elementary in Wichita, Kansas.
Hello, Wichita. Hey, everybody.
Mrs. Glenn and Miss Musel's third grade classes from Jefferson Elementary in Dixon, Illinois. Miss Shum's third grade class from Grandview Elementary in El Dorado, Kansas. Miss Grockett's fourth grade class from Chase County Elementary in Strong City, Kansas. Miss Little's third and fifth grade classes from Fort Supply Public Schools in Fort Supply, Oklahoma. Miss Reimer's high schoolers from Brevard High School in North Carolina. And looks like we now have Miss Wilson's second grade class from Bartlett, Kansas on the line.
Oh, Bartlett. There's good.
Well, again, welcome to all of the classes. And before we talk to our farmers, Michael and Christy Springer, you can see them there on the screen now. We're going to show you a short video that shows you around their farm.
Hey guys, I'm Harper. Have you ever been to a farm before? I've seen barns from the road, but that's about it. That's why I've decided to visit one to get the real scoop. Cooper and Mason invited me to their family pig farm in Sycamore, Kansas. They're gonna give me a tour of the farm, teach me about how they raise pigs, and even let me hold a piglet. I can't wait. Did you know that there are over 1,000 pig farms in Kansas? Farmers take good care of their pigs so that we can have pork in our grocery stores. Pork is a meat that comes from pigs. Let's go see how farmers raise their pigs. Come on!
We're here at Springer Family Farm in Sycamore, Kansas with Cooper and Mason. Their family raises corn, soybeans, and lots of pigs. Hey guys, what's it like to take care of pigs?
I love working with pigs because they are very easy to work with.
We give pigs the best possible care that they need so we can feed our community and yours.
Where do your pigs live?
Our pigs live in barns.
Piglets and sows live in fairing houses. The piglets are the baby pigs and the sows are their mothers. The fairing house is a barn where moms have their babies. It's just like a delivery room at a hospital.
Can we go see some piglets?
Sure, let's go.
Pigs give birth to babies in groups. That's called a litter. Usually there's 12 piglets in a litter. They each weigh 2 to 3 pounds when they're born. Pigs start walking as soon as they're born. They grow really fast, which means they nurse at least once every hour. We make sure moms get really good food and water so that they can have enough milk for their babies. Sow's milk provides the babies with all the nutrients they need until they're about 3 weeks old.
So what happens next?
The piglets get weaned.
What does weaned mean?
Weaned means that they'll stop drinking milk from their mama and start eating food. The sows go back to their own barns where they can wait until they have another litter of pigs. Then the baby piglets go on to the ham tram to the nursery.
Would you like to go see some piglets now?
Absolutely, let's go.
Cooper told me when pigs move into the nursery that they're about 3 weeks old and weigh 15 to 20 pounds. That's like lifting 2 gallons of milk. They keep the barn nice and warm so that they're comfortable. They use computer technology to control the temperature, just like you use in your house.
So now that they don't drink milk, what do you feed the pigs?
Let's go take a look.
So we are at the feed mill. The feed mill is a place where other crops like wheat and corn and soybeans will be harvested on the pig feed. This whole entire field of corn will be harvested with a combine, put into one of the big semi-trailers, and be hauled to another one of these grinding places, or even this one. After it's grinded up, it will go into the feed truck, will be hauled to this farm over here and other surrounding farms.
I was shocked to find out pigs like vegetables, including corn. Now, they don't eat corn on the cob like you and me. They eat a different kind of corn, called field corn. Field corn kernels are smashed into small pieces that are easy to eat and digest. Basically, a farmer will plant a corn seed that will grow into an ear of corn. These are harvested in the fall. When corn is harvested, a combine harvests the corn. As a corn cob goes in, single corn kernels come out. Those kernels are smashed up through rollers and added to the pig feed along with other ingredients like soybean meal and other nutrients. Did you know farmers plant their crops in acres? 1 acre is the same size as a football field. In Kansas, corn is one of the top produced crops. Farmers plant more than 5 million acres of corn. That's a lot of football fields. Our harvest is so big that it could fill 10,000 swimming pools. Here's a fun fact. Corn can also be used to make ethanol fuel for our cars. When corn is used to make ethanol fuel, some of it is left over. We call those distiller grains. Distiller grains actually make a great treat for pigs and can still be used in their food. All in all, 39% of corn planted in the United States is made into fuel or made into feed for our animals like pigs. Nutritionists agree pigs like corn because it provides them protein and energy to be happy and healthy. Pig food is stored in bins to keep it fresh. It travels through a long tube right into the pig's feeder to keep it nice and full at all times.
Yum.
They also have a drinking fountain for clean, fresh water. After eating all those vegetables, they grow up fast. At 8 weeks old, pigs weigh about 40 to 60 pounds. That's the same weight as 4 bowling balls. As they get bigger, they move to a finishing barn where they have more room to move around. Pigs live in the finishing barn until it's time to go to market. They'll be 6 months old and weigh 280 pounds when they go to market.
So guys, how long has your family been raising pigs?
We've been raising pigs for 70 years. My great-granddad used to raise them outside back in the old days. Now with all this awesome technology, our pigs live in high-tech barns with fans and misters to stay cool in the summer and heaters to stay warm in the winter.
Before I toured your farm, I thought pigs just laid around in the mud all day.
They do spend a lot of time sitting and relaxing, but they also eat and drink and play in their pens too. I love watching pigs grow up and play in their pens.
Thanks so much for giving us a tour of the farm. I really enjoyed getting to meet your family, learning about pigs, sows, and the life of a pig.
Sure, no problem.
Anytime. Have a porktastic day.
All right, well now let's go back to the farm. Michael and Christy live near Sycamore, Kansas. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Southeast Kansas. Today, we're sitting in the nursery barn, and this barn holds about 300 piglets. These piglets were just moved in here today. They rode over here from another farm on our ham tram. Did you guys see a picture of the ham tram on the video? That's our school bus that we have taken, and we took all the seats out of the bus, and that ham tram can hold about 350 piglets. Now, we like to move our piglets in that ham tram because we can move them when it's raining or snowing or 100 degrees out, and they will stay nice and nice in that bus so they're not out in the elements. So like I said, these piglets were just weaned from their mamas today, which means they're about 21 days old. These piglets will weigh anywhere from 13 to 15 pounds. And in this barn, it's about 80 degrees right now, so it's very comfortable. Hope you guys are having a great day and hope you enjoy the visiting our farm today.
Well, we've been having a lot of rain here, so I suppose there it's nice because it keeps them out of the rain.
Yes, the pigs, they tend to move in the rain very well when we have to move them on the farm.
So tell us what a typical day is like on the farm. What kinds of chores do you have to do daily?
Well, there's never one day the same at the farm, but every day we have to feed the pigs, check their water, make sure they have plenty of water, make sure they have plenty of feed, and so we have morning, we have pigs bred every day. We have we make it kind of destructive. They don't have they hang around in their pens with their friends all day long and then try to tear up things so us humans have things to work on. So I have people that work on hog buildings every day, keeping everything in good condition.
How many times
And then
do you check the pigs?
there's this person, and I have 32 full-time employees, and there's a person in the barn, every barn, at least twice a day. Now, if you're in our fairing houses where our pigs are born, I have people that work inside those barns all day long and check the sows every 30 minutes.
And how many piglets do those mamas have when they give birth?
Well, our average litter size here is about 13 pigs. So, but they range from anywhere from 8 or 9 to 22 pigs per litter.
And what steps do you take when the mom has babies?
Well, in the first, I have people on every farm whose job is day one litter care, and what they do is when the pigs are born, they pick them up and dry them off, and they also make sure that they nurse their mom within 2 hours of being born to make sure that they get colostrum.
And how many times a year do the sows have babies?
Well, they have about 2.5 litters per year. So some have 2 litters, some have 3, depending on how they fall on the calendar year.
Okay. And how long will the pigs stay in this barn that they're in right now?
Well, we're in the nursery, and the pigs they live with their mama for 3 weeks, and this morning they were brought over here to the nursery, and they'll be here for 6 to 8 weeks. And then when they leave here, they'll weigh between 50 and 60 pounds, and they're going to move to the finishing barn. And the finishing barn is a barn similar to this with a lot more space for the pigs to grow. And in the finishing barn, they'll live there for 16 weeks, and they'll leave weighing about 300 pounds.
And I see that the pigs tend to lay together. Is that normal?
Oh yeah. The pigs don't respect each other's personal space. pigs are very social animals, and Jody's filming over here in a pen, and that's like a perfect pattern for pigs. They like to lay up against each other. So they're telling us that they're very comfortable inside this barn today.
And let's talk a little bit more about what the pigs eat. Now, do you guys raise the grains that you feed them?
Yes, we actually raise corn, soybeans, and wheat on our farm. And pig feed contains corn, soybean meal, and vitamins and minerals. So the corn we raise on our farm is ground up at our feed mill and goes into our pig feed. So it takes about 900 semi-loads of corn a year to feed our pigs. My family raises about half of those on our farm, and we depend on our neighbors to help us raise the rest of the corn we need to feed our pigs.
And why do you decide what to feed them, or how do you know what to feed them and how much? Okay.
Well, these guys have a dietitian. We use a nutritionist from Kansas State University who formulates the diets to meet the exact pig's nutritional needs at the time they are in their production and their life. So we have about 16 different feed rations that we make at our feed mill. And so pigs are given he didn't like me. The nutritionist figures out how many pounds of that feed they need, and then when they get done eating that, we bring them the next ration that meets their nutritional needs. So it's very complex, but we feed the pigs what they need at the time they are for their age and their weight and where they are in their life cycle.
And how do you identify if a pig is sick, and what do you do if you notice something is wrong?
Okay. Well, that's part of people's jobs who take care of the pigs every day. If we find a pig that is sick, then we're going to take it out of its pen and put it in a pen we call the hospital. And then we treat the pig under the direction of our veterinarian. So all the decisions we make when it comes to keeping our pigs healthy are under advisement from our veterinarian, but we do all the work at the farm.
And I notice the floors are slatted. Can you explain to us why that is?
Why, sure. What goes in must come out. So this is where pigs go to the bathroom. So the manure falls down through these slots and into the pit under the barn. And then we drain the pits out into our lagoon. And then we pump the manure out of our lagoon onto our fields for fertilizer for the cleanup. So recycling. We feed the pigs. Then we put the manure from the pigs onto the field. Cries another crop to feed the pigs.
So could you explain that last part again, what you do with the manure?
Oh, we use it for fertilizer to provide the nutrients for the corn or for the crops on the field. So we spray it or inject it out on our fields, and it feeds.
So we have a few questions that came in ahead of time from some of the classrooms. From Zoe and Mrs. Glenn's class, how many pigs do you have?
Well, we have about 45,000 pigs on our farms, and we have 10 different farms here in Montgomery and Wilson County in southeast Kansas. In this barn we're in today, there's about 300 pigs.
Do you know how much water the pigs drink in a day? That's from Brody and Mrs. Glenn's class also.
Well, that's a hard one. The pig drinks about about not quite 4 gallons of water a day.
Okay.
Obviously, at this size, they drink a lot less, but when they get older, they drink a lot more.
Do you raise any other animals?
We have a few cows, but we primarily raise pigs and crops to feed the pigs.
What is your favorite part of raising pigs?
Well, my favorite part of raising pigs is loading market hogs and watching the trucks roll out, because when a load of market hogs go to town, we know that all the work we put into raising the pigs has been successful and we've done our job. Here at our farm, we take a lot of pride in producing food, not only to feed our families, but to feed your families. I'll let Christy tell you her favorite part.
Well, my favorite part about being on the farm is when they ask me to get to drive the ham tram around. So it's always fun to have the piggies in the back. The other thing I'd like to do is I like to go into the schools and talk about the farm and what we do on our farm, and we like doing these videos. And the thing that the thing I like least about the farm is all the laundry that comes with being married to a hog farmer. So.
All right, a student from Mrs. Ree's class wants to know if you know what kind of brushes they make out of the pig's hair, or can you talk a little bit more about what else comes from pigs other than pork?
Oh, good question. Some of the things are the brushes. I know that paint brushes they make from the hair from a pig. Other things that are byproducts of pigs are crayons, chapstick, gelatin, Jello, makeup, also a lot of things they use in the medical field when they artificial hearts. Isn't there some diabetic? Insulin is a pork byproduct. I'm forgetting there. I think, dog food, different types of animal food.
And then tell us about the types of pork that comes from pigs.
Oh, well, you have pork loin, you have sausage, pepperoni, pork steak, ribs, pork chops, ground pork, bacon is the number one thing at our house that we like. We like it all, and lots of great meat products that come from pork.
And I think
who doesn't like ham sandwiches?
And how much pork can you get from a pig? I think Michael talked about that with one of our last sessions.
So he says on a 300-pound market hog, you get 200 to 225 pounds of meat from that market hog.
Okay. Well, I think we'll go around to each of the classrooms and let them all ask you guys a couple questions each. So we'll start with Miss Morgan's first grade class. If you have a couple questions you'd like to ask. Does anybody have a question? All right, what's your question? How do you raise pigs on the farm? They kind of answered that. Samantha, sit down. Satan. What happens if pigs are bad? Okay, you want to come up here?
No.
Look right at it and ask it. Ask him.
What happens if the pigs be bad?
What happens if the pigs are bad?
Yes.
Well, we don't have a piggy timeout pin, unfortunately.
We've got a couple pigs here next door trying to be bad right now.
Yeah.
Oh, they're pretty playful animals, so they don't cause us too much trouble.
Ms. Morgan, does your class have another question they'd like to ask?
I want to know if anybody can tell me how long a mama sow is pregnant. You know, a human is pregnant 9 months, but how long is a mama sow pregnant? Does anybody know the answer to that question?
Does anybody know? Betsy, do you know? How long?
So a mama sow is pregnant 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days.
3. Do you have a question? What's your question? How long? How little are they? Yeah. Do you want to ask it?
Oh, so when piglets are born, they weigh about 3 pounds when they are born. When the pigs that are in the barn that we are in right now weigh about 13 to 15 pounds. Then they're going to stay in this barn for a little bit, and when they get to about 45 pounds, we will move them into the finisher. So they'll stay in the finisher till they're about 280 pounds, and that's when we will load them on the truck to go to market. So from the time they're born, they're 3 pounds, and in a 6 month time period when they go to market, they're 280 pounds. Can you imagine if you put on that much weight in 6 months?
And so what makes them grow so fast?
Well, what makes the pigs grow so fast is the quality care that we give them. So happy pigs grow really fast. So we check on them, we give them the proper care and feeding, their diets. It all comes down to their diet. They have nutritionists. So the nutritionists tell us what we feed our pigs based on how old they are and where they are in their growing stages. So it's all about good nutrition and health. Yeah, they are never fed hormones. It's illegal to feed pigs any kind of hormones.
All right, Miss Wilson's second grade class. Talk loud.
How long do they live, the pigs?
How long?
How long will pigs live?
Yeah.
Well, a market hog will be about 6.5 months old when it's sold. A mama sow will usually live for 2 to 3 years.
Okay, Ms. Wilson's class, did you have another question you'd like to ask? Talk loud.
How long have you guys been in business?
We've been in business a long time. My grandpa started farming in the late 1940s and started raising pigs in the 1950s. So we've been in farming and raising pigs for a long, long time. Christy and I have a privilege of being the third generation to take care of my family's farm.
And can you talk a little bit about the differences from when he started versus how you're raising pigs now?
Well, sure. When my grandpa started, we raised all our pigs outside. And they lived out. They had sheds they could go into, but they lived outside. And if the snow was blowing, they had to fend for themselves and keep themselves warm. Today, we keep pigs in these high-tech barns, where we can keep the air, where we can keep the temperature that's a comfortable level for the pigs. Here in the nursery, it's 80 degrees today, and it just started raining outside, so it's dry and it's so warm, and everybody's happy here inside this modern pig barn.
And it probably protects them from other outdoor predators, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Predator protection's a big deal. when pigs live out in the wild or well, I say outside, then they're subjected to predators and things that might come through and get into their pens, and that's not a concern in our modern barns.
Okay, let's go to Miss Reeves' second grade class with questions.
Why are pigs different colors?
Why are pigs different colors? Well, that's a good question. Well, if you notice, most of them are pink. They have a few spots on them. It depends on what color their mommy and their dad. Our pigs, the mommies are all white and the daddies are all red. Just because you have a white mom and a red daddy doesn't mean you'll get a specific color of pig. But they're dominantly white, and the colors vary on the breeds that their mom and dad were.
And what breed are these pigs?
These are crossbred landrace, Yorkshire, and Duroc. The landrace and the Yorkshire, that's what the moms are. We use those for good mothers, and they have nice sized litters. And we use the Duroc because the Duroc breed produces high quality meat that makes good pork for you guys to eat.
Okay, Miss Reeves, does your class have another question?
How do you know how old pigs are?
I heard, how do you know?
Could you repeat the question, please?
How do you know how old the pigs are?
How do you know how old the pigs are? Well, you ask them and they tell you. No, not really. We know how old they are based on their size, and then we actually each barn has pigs that are same age in it, and we keep records on that. So we actually know where these pigs came from and how long they've been here, and we keep track of it the whole time on our farm.
Okay, let's go to Mrs. Glenn and Mrs. Musel's third grade classes.
How many different breeds of pigs are there?
Well, somebody asked me that question this morning, and I don't know the answer, but there's lots of them.
All right, stand up. All right, back up. All right, go ahead.
What do you do if a pig dies on the farm?
Well, that does happen occasionally, but if we keep them healthy, it doesn't happen very often. So what do we do when a pig dies? Well, we take it out to our compost building, and we bury them in sawdust. Is how we deal with that, and that's an environmentally friendly way to handle our deads.
Okay, let's go to Miss Shem's third grade class.
Going to a third grade.
Where do they go in severe weather?
Where do they go in severe weather?
Oh, right here inside their barns. So here in their barns, we keep them we can keep them safe inside their barns. You know, I'll talk a little bit more about severe weather. One thing that's really important on a farm like ours is we have to have a backup generator so that we always have power. So if we have a storm come through and we lose our power, we have a generator that comes on so these barns stay comfortable and the pig environment is not sacrificed during a storm.
Okay, Ms. Shem's class, do you have another question?
What are the predators of the pigs?
What about the predators?
What are the predators of the pigs?
Oh, well, when they live outside, well, here where we live, if they were a small pig, a coyote would see a little pig and think that would be a good afternoon snack. So, but when they live in barns, we don't have to worry about that, and that's a good thing.
Okay, let's go to Chase County Elementary.
some sicknesses that pigs get?
What are some sicknesses that pigs get?
Sicknesses
Yes.
the pigs get? Well, they get colds just like we humans do. Pigs and humans are very, very similar. So the problems they get are very similar. But sometimes we get some pigs that get the diarrhea, and so we have to doctor them for that. And every once in a while they get a cold, and sometimes viruses like flu go through our herd, and we have to. When that happens, there's not a lot we can do with medicine, so we make sure they have plenty of water and plenty of fluids, and we, just like your mom does, drink lots of water and get lots of rest to get better. And prevention, and more that I'd add to it, prevention is key. Like these boots we have on, we only wear that in these barns. We don't wear them to town. We don't wear them somewhere else. And we're sitting in here in clean clothes. If we'd been in another pig barn, we'd have had to shower and cleaned up before we came in. And the other thing that's really important to remember is all these things when it comes to medicating our pigs or preventing disease. It's all under the direction and supervision of our veterinarian.
Okay. Chase County Elementary, do you have another question?
How long do you keep your boars?
Could you repeat that?
How long do you keep the boars?
How long do you keep the boars?
The boar. Well, that's an interesting question. We actually don't have any boars at our farm. So we actually, all of our sows are bred using artificial insemination. And the reason we don't have any boars is because in order to keep the pigs healthy, we don't want to introduce any pigs from any other farms. So we don't want to take the risk of somebody being sick and coming into our farms. So we actually don't really have boars, but the boars that provide for our farm at a place called the Stud, those boars have about the same life cycle as a sow, 2 to 3 years.
Okay. Fort Supply Public Schools.
I think that you have asked all the questions that we had prepared.
Okay. All right. Miss Reimer's class.
How do you ID your pigs?
We name them all. No, not really. I think I talked about this earlier. When they're at this stage, we keep track of them by barn, and we keep records for each barn. Now their mamas, they have ear tags and ear notches, and ear notches are little notches in their ear that you count and you can identify who they are, when they were born, what litter they were in. But primarily an ear tag and a number is how we keep track of them.
And you guys have another question?
How do you replace your sows?
We raise gilts at one of our farms. So when the sows are done having babies, we bring in a new gilt to replace her, a new young mama.
Well, those are some really great questions, and we're about out of time. So I would like to thank all of the classrooms for joining us today, and especially Michael and Christy for taking time out of your day to visit with us. And I would also like to thank our sponsors for this program, and they include the Kansas Corn Commission, the Kansas Soybean Commission, Kansas Foundation for Ag in the Classroom, and the Pork Checkoff. They all help us provide this program for you guys, and we hope you enjoy it. And Michael and Christy, have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.